Shalom and marhaba. My name is Cassie Dillon. I am a senior at Mount Holyoke College, double majoring in international relations and Middle Eastern studies. And last spring, I decided to study abroad in Israel. Now, when going abroad to Israel, I've been there before for 10 days, but never by myself, and I definitely had my hand held. And in Israeli culture, both the Arab side and the Jewish side, and even the Christian side, they have this trust factor where they trust their children. Their 6-year-olds can go to school by themselves. They don't have to have their hand held. And so they expected American students to find their way to the city of Haifa, which is an hour and a half north. So my first experience was getting off the plane, and our plane was delayed in the middle of the night, and somehow trying to find my way to this university. So that was when I first got myself right into the culture. And luckily for me, most people in Israel do speak English, which is a good thing in that aspect, but also a bad thing when you're trying to learn the language and they respond to you in English when you're trying to practice it. If you've ever studied abroad, I'm sure you've experienced that. So I picked Haifa because Haifa is a city that really proclaims itself on coexistence. There's a really big Arab Christian population, Arab Muslim population. There's some Bedouin that are studying there. There's Druze, there's Russians, and obviously there's Jewish people as well. So I picked Haifa because I wanted the coexistence, and I was a student of Arabic, and so I really wanted to continue my studies of Arabic. And while I was there, one of the biggest struggles I had was the university was sort of underfunded, and our book was actually in Hebrew. We were learning Arabic with a Hebrew book with students who don't speak Hebrew. So my professor would translate it for us, and we had to learn that way. So we did a lot of talking Shami, and if you know what Shami is, that is the informal dialect. So we did a lot of that, much more than Fusha, which was nice. Now, my roommates, none of them spoke English, so that was interesting. They all spoke Arabic, so I was forced to speak Arabic, and one of them knew a little bit of English. One was Bedouin, and the other 3 were Arab, Palestinians, Muslims. They claimed as many identities as they could. I specifically asked them, because I do study politics, what they identified as, and you ask anyone in Israel, they'll name like 10 identities. They'll name their families, their tribes, their cultures, everything. Now, I got to practice Arabic a lot because I had a Druze tutor, and if you don't know who the Druze are, they are a small ethno-religious group that live in Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. The men in the Druze community do fight in the IDF, so there's another interesting aspect, but they are an Arab-speaking community, so I got to go to a lot of dinners and practice my Arabic with my Druze tutor. I also went shopping a lot in the Druze villages and the Arab villages because it was cheaper, and I wanted to practice my Arabic, and the Arab speakers in Israel, they love to know that you're learning Arabic. They will speak it with you, and when you try using Hebrew, it doesn't go too well. You get the response in English. Now, I also joined an Arabic church in Israel, and I got to practice, and I learned how important it was to, you're in the Holy Land, you want to learn more about your faith, but worshiping in a different language, it's a whole new experience. Absolutely. So they put the words in Arabic on the board, and you're reading it off the board, and you're like, wow, I'm actually learning, and I'm worshiping with all these people in different languages. So if you ever have a chance to go to a church that's not English, if you're a Christian or any other religion, definitely do it. It's wonderful seeing worship in different languages. Now, I speak Spanish, and I took Spanish my first 2 years of college, so I also got to use Spanish in Israel, which was interesting. There's a really big Spanish-Jewish population in Israel, and I was at Palm Sunday in Jerusalem, and you have a lot of tourists coming in, so it was nice to also use that. Now, Hebrew, I did not learn any Hebrew before coming to Israel. Basically, all I could say is, hello, how are you, where's the bathroom, how much is that, please don't rip me off. Those are basically the things I could say in Hebrew. And I really wanted to start learning Hebrew because it's very similar to Arabic. They have the same pronouns, a lot of the letters sound the same, you're writing the same direction, they're both Semitic languages. So I would ask my Jewish friends or my Hebrew-speaking friends, what's the word for this? What's this letter? What's the alphabet? And in Hebrew, you have a written system, so it's kind of like cursive, and you have a printed system, and they're different. So that took a little while to get over. Why am I writing one way but reading another way? But I definitely got over it. And when I got back from studying abroad, I started taking Hebrew, and I'm on my 2nd semester. And because I already know Arabic, or not completely know, trust me, you can study Arabic for 8 years, you still don't know all of it. But I got to definitely learn Hebrew at an expedited level. I'd say my Hebrew is just as good as my Arabic because I had that foundation of learning a Semitic language already. Now, obviously, there's the political aspects. In Israel, all the directional signs are in English, Arabic, and Hebrew, which helps for me. I could drive. I get to read the signs. But some different areas, you'll have just the Hebrew-speaking signs, especially at the university, where I remember they wanted me to get my school ID, and it took me 2 hours to figure out where the office was, because nobody was on campus, and none of the signs were in Arabic or English. But definitely, you can look at the signs and see political aspects. So the word for Jerusalem in Hebrew is Jerusalem. The word for Jerusalem in Arabic is Al-Quds. So you can see the different signs, how in different languages they call things different things, even if it's a city. So I'd say having English, I was able to build bridges with my roommates who spoke Arabic, and also all my friends I had that spoke Hebrew. So definitely there is a big mix, and I think because I was learning all 3 languages while there, or not 3, but 2, and spoke 1, I was able to really submerge myself in the politics, and we all know that the politics there are very tense. So if you do go to Israel ever, go to Haifa and see the coexistence, and try learning a language.